Hey, Paul, Tyler, and John. This is Tim. I just wanted to review with you the Supervisor I login accounts so you can see what they do now and kind of get an idea of what works for them and how it works and what doesn't work. As I mentioned in some of the paperwork in an email maybe, this page was really designed, it's a holdover from the supervisors of the trades sections, the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing guys. Because the city used the same term and we didn't really get into it until we got into it. Didn't know that their supervisors on the building side were so much different from the trade supervisors. So these guys just supervise a group of, like I said, 4 to 7 inspectors per crew, and they're personally responsible to make sure that these inspectors are on time with their work, are doing things the right way, and they just don't have that information on their front page. So right here at the top, this pending action grid, I think AL notifications, which stands for application letter, but it's the letter that goes out to owners of properties that the utilities send turn on notifications when there's a new tenant potentially. So this first goes to the inspectors, and they have 5 working days to get these things turned around. Otherwise, there's another line about overdue AL notifications that the supervisor sees. Ron's group of guys are pretty on it. This is Ron Stevens' account. I just happen to have his login credentials, and you can see that they're saying to their verdict, the inspector's verdict on all these ALs is to abate them, except for this one here that Bill Berry's saying to send. And then Ron approves, reviews and approves, and can either override the ruling, send or abate on his own decision here. So he just goes through, and that's the first thing on the top of his homepage, and pretty sparse. The second thing I think that is per his crew, he's got email that comes back and forth from the system that sends messages within the permitting system, and then the second thing here is this pending action grid, which is specifically related to occupancy permits. So that shows up when his crew has things to do there. Let's see, they don't even need access to backflow, life safety, settings, or users. But the letters page is where they go primarily to review all the inspectors and their crew, their work, when they submit it. So you can see here Ron's got a few things to look at from today. This is Tuesday, June 5th. So he's got some inspectors who have submitted some work. They're saying some of these items are complied, send a fee letter, the various results, and the inspectors who send them in. He's accepted a few of these things, and so we can see here some things. The address, the contact is how we're printing the email or printing the letters out for them or emailing them to the applicant, and these are primarily, I think, housing conservation and some existing structures. So we don't really know what type of inspection is going on. Maybe we could break those out too, based on some of the notes I've sent you guys. Here's all the vacant building information and a new vacant building request sent through one of his inspectors here. So this is the primary page they work on. This is it right here. The duration, we wanted to have a timing on the inspection, but it didn't really work. I think maybe an aging, which is we're going to be putting in here pretty shortly. That's probably the best thing to put in here is how old is this case, and we'll have that information. So this is kind of it. His account page is where he sets up his inspectors. So these are the guys in his crew. He can pull from all of the inspectors listed here, but this is all everybody, trades and building inspectors. Was wondering if we could have this, maybe it's a grid on his homepage, who his inspectors are, and I think I've got that in my doc as well. What areas they're responsible for, what's their contact information. I just saw, was at City Hall today, and they're handing out, they keep reprinting and reprinting a directory of all the inspectors, because they keep changing responsibilities, areas of responsibility. And Paul, Tyler, maybe that's a page in the system, like for users, internal users of a directory, and who's responsible for what area, warden precinct, and what their role is, who their supervisor is, and then who's their manager. So that's the next layer up for the supervisor 2 or manager personnel. So I know I'm covering a couple of things that are off topic, but kind of related. So maybe on the homepage we've got, recreate this all. It's going to be new design. Don't lock in here, I think. Let's just use all the real estate on these wide screens. Maybe a calendar that shows everybody's day, and you can flip-flop around through each. Something that's cool and responsive, something that we can really use to get some attention with out in other markets. So that is my hope for this. And I will, if there's anything new here, I'll let you know. So permits you can get to, just to cover real quickly. We've got trades permits here, which they probably don't even really need to get into, but they'll have building permits, which will probably be in here, I'm assuming, or maybe its own category. They don't need this. Occupancy permits, that is for their crew. So yep, separate loan there, separate line. Inspections, these are all their guys' stuff. Referrals, that'll be different. That's upcoming work referring into each other. AL notifications, housing conservation, existing structures. 8788 is a different group. Fire safety is a different group. This is their group here too. Some more work for his crew. So you can see that this crew doesn't have any inspections. We need to fix that probably. I can't imagine that. Anyway, so that's where we are. They can do a couple of things. They can add vacant buildings. They can add ES inspections that'll go to their assigned crew. They can do a few things, but again, it's kind of spread out and around. And I think it needs to be all on their home page. Just click and a touch. Clean up this. Maybe streamline different colors. The other thought I had was, and I'd like to carry it over to inspectors as well, but maybe start with Supe I's if it sounds good, is different colors. If you're looking at this in an office, it's one, maybe, and then dark background and lighter colors if you're out in broad daylight or in a home. Whatever's easier, maybe easy on the eyes, and then maybe easier, maybe that's an option to view it in a certain way, if that's doable. Just some thoughts here. So hopefully this makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I want to shoot these up to you, and I'll get some docs, and we'll get a spec on this, and maybe a quick proof of concept from John that we can get some feedback from the supervisors on. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you later.